Hey, good evening, everyone. This is WAAY 31 Stormtracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle. We still have some severe thunderstorm activity moving through the area. I wanted to give you just an update on that as we continue to track primarily some hail out of these storms. The good news is that is the worst. We really don't have a tornado threat, although these storms are rotating, but that's why they're producing these large hailstones at times. But again, we're not concerned about tornado activity, but we have gotten quite a few reports of large hail out of these storms, quarter-sized, even a report of some ping pong ball-sized hail out of some of these storms. I do think we're kind of turning the corner on the worst of the storm activity coming through, but we're not entirely done yet. So let me just kind of run through this. We've got multiple warnings out there. All of these, again, are severe thunderstorm warnings, and again, primarily for a large hail threat that could be quarter-sized or larger in some cases. Severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Lauderdale County. That's what you see there off to the northeast of Florence. We have severe thunderstorm warnings also in effect for parts of Limestone and Madison County. Portions of Franklin County, severe thunderstorm warnings. Portions of Lawrence County, severe thunderstorm warnings. And although Morgan County, you're quiet right now, those storms that are in Lawrence County are tracking in your general direction. We also have some severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect for parts of Cullman as well as Blount County. So let me get in here. We're just going to take a closer look at some of these. This is your large hail. You can see the core of that showing up in the pink and the purple color here in Lauderdale County. This is east of Highway 43. Moving its way towards Lexington as this works its way primarily off to the east. I'll show you where this is headed, primarily moving eastward, maybe a little bit of a jog to the north out of this one. And for the most part, these have been moving at around 25 to 30 miles per hour or so. So I do want to track out some of this. And again, just emphasize that it is large hail that we're primarily concerned about out of these storms. This one will be headed perhaps towards Lexington, perhaps towards Anderson there in eastern parts of Lauderdale County. Again, heavy rainfall, lightning also expected, but large hail is the primary threat out of this. Into the Lexington area around 7:12 and into Anderson coming up around 7:20 is when we expect this one to be arriving there. Again, it is hail that is the primary concern, and I'll show you what that is looking like here on our hail tracker. And there you see the hail core. Getting right along, looks like Alabama Highway 64, and that is tracking towards the Lexington-Anderson area. We take you into Limestone County. Again, another hail core. This one is northeast of Athens. This one's tracking east, maybe a little north of east. Let me put it back on the regular radar view. You can see the extent of this storm. There is, of course, quite a bit of rain associated with it. But again, our threat for severe weather is going to be in the form of some potentially large hail. Looks like we did just get a report of golf ball hail there in Lauderdale County along Highway 43. So again, that's that storm tracking towards Lexington. Let me track this one out in Madison County. Again, the hail core showing up in the brightest colors there, the pink and the purple. And this one generally headed towards Hazel Green, the New Market area perhaps. Hazel Green, it'll be there in about 20 minutes or so, 20, 25 minutes. New Market coming in around 7:38. Again, this is large hail that we are seeing out of this storm. And again, we have multiple hailstorms out there. This one is just outside of our area primarily, near the Holly Pond community, getting ready to move into Bluntsville there, northern Blount County. The hail core, again, where the pink and the purplish colors are showing up, that likely is going to stay just outside of Marshall County, as this one's primarily moving off to the east and the southeast. We'll put a track on this for you. It might just clip that very southern tip of Marshall County south of Douglas. But for the most part, this is going to be moving through Blount County, Sneed community around 7:23, into Walnut Grove around 7:35. Again, large hail is the threat with this. There you see the hail core right in the vicinity of Holly Pond in Bluntsville. Take you back into Lawrence County. This is over the Bankhead National Forest, so good news is not really impacting any sizable communities here. But another severe thunderstorm warning out of this storm south of Moulton. Again, easy to pick out where the hail core is generally located, where you have what we call the brightest reflectivity, which is going to be the pink and the purple color. This one will clip southwestern parts of Morgan County, close to the Penn community primarily. So again, this is a fairly rural area of Lawrence County, so if there is a positive, it is that. And again, large hail is the main severe weather concern out of this. Back into Franklin County, again, large hail. See a couple of the cores here south of Russellville, just north of Phil Campbell. Some other hail cores, not quite as significant, extending back to the south and west of that. But let's track the hail core for you. That is, again, here between Russellville and Phil Campbell right now. This is also moving its way off to the south and to the east, around 20, 30 miles per hour. So that's going to bring it into Newburgh here in the next few minutes. Mount Hope High School area around 7:22. The Youngtown area around 7:33. And again, that's going to be the possibility for some larger hail. Now, I will say some of these cores with the hail are not as significant as they were earlier. I do want to show you the bigger picture here. And in fact, I'll take this back through time. And right this general time frame is when we had some of the biggest hail in Moulton, southeast of there, in that part of Lawrence County. Where we really had on the hail size upwards of ping pong ball size. We also had a fairly substantial hail core there northwest of Russellville, with some reports of quarter size, larger hail there. But again, as we've gone through time here, those hail cores have become a bit less significant. But there are still enough out there with the possibility that, again, some of these could produce some quarter size hail as they move on through. So that is the reason for all the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have ongoing right now. Let me kind of show you the bigger picture of what we've got going on. Notice you head north of the Tennessee border, and there's a whole lot of nothing up in that direction. What we're generally waiting on is a cold front to come across North Alabama, and that will pretty well squash the rain and storm activity with time overnight tonight. And we're also losing the daytime heating, so that's the other part of this. We ended up a little bit warmer today than we expected. Many spots got close to 70 after we got the rain and the storms out of here first thing this morning, that initial wave. And that allowed the atmosphere to destabilize this afternoon. The other thing does involve the cold front that we're talking about, and it came in a little bit slower. We knew it was going to be slow to move through, but because that did not clear the area through the afternoon hours, that's why we saw these storms have the chance to develop. And again, this is kind of what we're contending with right now, is we're still having this threat for some large hail. The atmosphere has not really been set up for tornado activity, although there was a brief tornado that did occur in the Birmingham area a little bit earlier this afternoon. Slightly more favorable conditions down in that direction, so that's why that happened. And that one did do some damage, it appears, but it was also very, very brief. So again, that's not been a concern for us. It has been this large hail moving through that has been the biggest concern for us. We also have, looks like, a flash flood warning that has been issued for Colbert, Coleman, Franklin, Lawrence, Morgan counties due to heavy rainfall that has moved on through. So just be aware there could also be, in some of these areas where we've had storms repeatedly move on through, that we have had reports or potentially could have some problems with some high water. So there are some flood warnings as well in these same areas. Let me kind of run you through the forecast here. And I do want to show you what we're generally expecting as we head through the rest of this evening. And there is going to be a gradual decrease in the storm activity. Trying to find our future radar so I can specifically show you that. And how we do kind of expect things to change. Future radar is a little off, so I'll be honest. So even our reliable computer data has not been particularly reliable, so that certainly doesn't help. Let's see. So this is kind of the latest. This does a little bit of a better job. Going to be off on the placement. These model forecasts are always not going to be completely correct, but the general trend, where we are now, where we're going, Otis's threat for storms will likely persist through about 9 o'clock, although you do see that the heavier storms shifting southward with time through the evening hours, and then even the intensity does start to diminish. This look at future radar often overdoes the precip. It makes it look worse than it is, more widespread than it is. So, but this is basically suggesting that we will still have some pockets of rain around through midnight, maybe a little bit beyond that, and then there is going to be a general decrease in the activity as we work our way on into tomorrow morning. And right now, heading into the weekend, we're not expecting any sort of weather issues whatsoever. So once we get through the next couple of hours, I think things are going to be much quieter for us. And we're still looking pretty good heading into the weekend. Latest severe weather outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. This is through this evening. This is their new update. If you've been monitoring throughout the day, you knew that areas to our south were under level 2 slight risk. That has been removed in the latest update, but a level 1 risk does continue here for pretty much all of North Alabama, again, at least for a few more hours. And again, these are the threats that we are monitoring for as we head through the next couple of hours or so. Large hail is the main one. I've not yet seen any reports of strong wind gust. Primarily, we've getting reports here lately of quarter-sized hail. And in some cases, hail a little bit larger than that. So that does remain the main threat, is the possibility that we'll see hail up to quarter-sized out of the strongest storms. And again, that threat will likely continue here for at least a little bit longer. Again, here's another look at the wide view with 31 triple Doppler in our coverage area here in far north Alabama. We've got 4 active warnings right now. Again, for Franklin County, Lawrence, Morgan County, Lauderdale County, Limestone, Madison County. And again, it is a hail threat out of these storms right now. Still seeing a large hail core that's now in Lexington. Potential for some large hail northwest Madison County along Highway 53, the Ardmore Highway there, going through the Harvest area. At the very least, probably some small hail showing up here. We got just some rain around Huntsville. And we got more large hail showing up. Looks like some new development here west of Hartselle. So perhaps some hail in that. Maybe not anything too big at this point. But if you're in Hartselle, you may get some small hail here shortly. And again, potential for some up to quarter-size hail south of Speake. There in the southeast corner of Lawrence County. And again, back into Franklin County, southeast of Russellville. Still the possibility for some large hail showing up in that area. Again, these are the hail cores, pretty easy to pick out. This is just the radar kind of looking at all the data, analyzing it, and plotting where those larger hailstones are likely falling. So again, southeast of Russellville, southeast of Moulton. Not seeing the hail core quite as substantial in northwest Madison County or northeastern parts of Lauderdale County. But again, it is a possibility there as well. We are live streaming right now here on social media, on my meteorologist Jeff Castle Facebook page, the WAAY 31 Facebook page, and also on the WAAY 31 YouTube channel. Just providing you some updates here with this active weather. We don't have any watches ongoing right now. Storm Prediction Center determined that they weren't going to put a watch out, that they felt that the overall threat was going to be not significant enough or widespread enough to warrant a watch. But nonetheless, we do continue to still have some strong storms out here that are moving on through the area. Put it back on the regular view here that you're used to seeing. And if you're kind of an amateur weather watcher, I mean, you maybe have been looking at these storms and saying, you know what, some of these are rotating. And that has certainly been the case at times. But not all rotating storms are tornado producers. Sometimes storms rotate and they produce large hail, and that's really been the setup here. You can see here there in Blount County, there's a little bit of rotation. Green's blowing towards the radar, reds are away. Most of this is in the mid-levels of the storm, not in the low levels of the storm. So again, that's why there just hasn't been a tornado threat that's materialized. But again, there's definitely been some rotation in these storms, and that has contributed to the generation of the large hail that we have seen across the area. Let's see. Just running through some of the reports here. So some large hail reported northeast of Triana. Let me I think that may be a little, maybe they meant Wall-Triana Highway. We've not really seen large hail in the Triana community. But again, some occasional reports of 1-inch hail or larger out of these storms moving on through. Let's run back the track here. Again, some hail, maybe up to quarter sized. We've also been seeing a lot of reports, and sometimes it's a little hard to differentiate, where we've had very heavy, small hail that's been enough to accumulate in areas. And again, some reports where some of this hail has gotten fairly sizable. But again, one of those hail cores here now moving out of Lexington. This one continues to shift a little bit off to the north and east. So let's kind of track this. So this may end up in parts of southern middle Tennessee, close to Lester, headed up towards Minor Hill there in southern Tennessee. Lester right on the state line there on the Limestone County side. So again, still the possibility here as this tracks towards Lester in the next 10 minutes or so, Minor Hill by 7:40. We'll say up to quarter size hail is a possibility. But again, these hail cores have been coming down from earlier. Here in Madison County, again, our hail core showing up Madison Crossroads area, working its way towards Hazel Green. So just be on the safe side if you're in the path of these storms. Again, this is where the large hail potential is at the moment. Tracking towards Hazel Green 736 into the New Market area around 747. Just get the car in to the garage, get it underneath some cover just to be on the safe side. I know all too well that hail damage to a vehicle can be a little bit of a hassle. Certainly you don't want dents and dings on your car. But again, it does appear the large hail threat subsiding perhaps a little bit. Back here into Lawrence County, also Morgan County, let's take a look at the hail estimated size. Again, a little small hail perhaps near Hartselle, likely under quarter size, maybe up to dime size there. And again, a more substantial hail core there southeast of Moulton and southeast Lawrence County. That's where we could have some hail, maybe up to quarter size. Let's kind of track all this out for you as well. In fact, I'll track this whole storm as it moves its way off to the east and southeast. Take it at about 45 minutes. Falkville area around 7:26 here in the next 5 minutes. Again, moving into Hartselle as we speak with some small hail perhaps. The Eva community 7:47, Vinemont around 7:52, Wind Crossroads around 7:58. In addition to the hail threat, very heavy rainfall, some frequent lightning. Again, we've not really gotten reports of wind. So this has primarily been large hail. Again, back here in Franklin County, northwest Alabama. Now, I will say this storm's kind of bowing out a little bit. So there could be maybe some wind with this one, 40, 50 miles per hour. But again, nothing really in the path here. This is moving into the Bankhead National Forest, south of the Mount Hope area. Should stay south of you folks in Moulton. But again, some large hail potential and maybe a little gusty wind with this moving through as well. Again, this is the wider picture, and you can see the individual storms. And again, the possibility that some of those are going to produce some more hail before it's all said and done. Let's see here. I'm just going to pull up the lives. And check some of the comments. Charlotte, I don't know where you're at, but Charlotte commenting, my metal roof was just beat to death by marble and quarter-size hail. Let me check some of the other social media accounts and see, check on the comments. You know, and I'll be transparent and honest with you. This was a little unexpected. When I woke up this morning, we had the marginal risk just south of North Alabama. And then, of course, early afternoon, that was expanded to include the northern part of the state, where we're up here in far north Alabama. And then the slight risk was added off to our south and west. These are things that happen. You know, forecasting the weather, in particular severe weather, is not 100% clear cut all the time, every time. And this is one of those things, as I mentioned earlier, we got a little bit warmer. The cold front we were expecting to come in came in a little bit slower. And that allowed the atmosphere to kind of bubble up and do what it has been doing here in recent hours. And we've just been adapting and rolling with the changes as they've been coming on through. But we are getting towards, I think, the final stretch out of all this. As I do expect with time this evening. And we're already kind of seeing this. The storms are losing a little bit of their punch compared to earlier. And that will continue to be the trend as we take you through the rest of this evening and into tonight. Just checking some more of the reports here. Quarter-size hail reported northeast of Athens. Again, that's for the storm that is now in northwestern Madison County. Got a report around east of Russellville, 1.25 inches hail. 1.5 inches hail near, looks like Brushy Lake in Lawrence County, a little bit earlier. So again, lots of hail reports. There's all of them. Bring the radar down. Take the lightning off. So these are all the hail reports thus far, and in association with quite a few of these storms that have moved on through. And again, those are the only reports that we've gotten. So the little symbols that you see here, these are all large hail reports from what we've had here in the last few hours. Let me pull the warnings off as well so we can focus just on that. So these are all the reports of large hail, quarter-sized or larger. That's what qualifies as severe hail. It's got to be at least 1 inch in diameter. That's the size of a quarter. And we've had quite a few of those. Colbert Franklin County, a couple reports there, Lauderdale County, it's like near Killen, near Anderson. I mentioned the report around Athens, northwest Madison County. There's the one in Triano. That one I'm a little unsure about, as we haven't really had any big storms that have come through there. But Morgan, Lawrence County, again, back into the shoals. Take you down to Birmingham. There's the tornado. Birmingham National Weather Service to where the hail has tracked through. So you do see where we have currently Lauderdale County. One hail track there. There's one that came through the Limestone County area, Athens, and into northwest Madison County. And then what we had a little bit earlier, this was when we were on the air at 5 and 6 o'clock. These were the really more significant tracks of large hail through parts of Coleman County. That storm is still ongoing. That's the one that is still happening in Blount County. And you see a couple tracks here across parts of Franklin and Lawrence County. So again, this is primarily where the larger hail has moved on through. And again, quite a few reports of some smaller hail as well. We got some pictures. And thank you for those that have shared pictures of the hail, small hail, just some pea-sized hail, but quite a bit of it that did pile up in some of these same areas as well. But again, it's the larger hail that we're more concerned about. The quarter-sized or larger, that's when you start having problems with your dents in your vehicles. Primarily, that's the main damage that you're going to get. It has to be a little bit bigger to start doing some structural damage. But once you get up to ping pong ball size hail, we did have some reports of that. That's when you can start to do some damage to your roof as well. But what we've had primarily, the quarter size hail. If your car was out in it, you might want to look it over just to make sure that, that you don't have any substantial dents in it. But again, here's the wide view with 31 triple Doppler. Things into motion here to show you how it's all come through. This is taking you back over the last 3 hours. Most of the storms have been moving to the east and the southeast. But I do see something that's kind of caught my eye here as we go back in time. We've actually had what we call some storm splitting. Tommy, what does that mean? Well, we had, this was right before 5 o'clock, we had really the first big storm of the day. They're near Russellville. And if you look here on the northern extent of this, let me circle where to watch. If you look on the northern end here, as I kind of move this forward, you're going to see a storm kind of split off from this. And instead of it moving south and east, or a little south of east, this one you see it near Town Creek, started moving a little north of east, and continued to grow and produce some hail there around Athens. And I noticed this with a couple others, just looking at the loop here. And so sometimes that's what can happen, is you get storms that actually split. One starts to move more south, the other one starts to move more north. I think we had a similar thing that happened here, southwestern Colbert County, a little bit earlier. This was around 5:30. And again, you see kind of another storm kind of split off from that one and intensify, moving through Florence. Again, that's the one that is right there on the state line currently. Another report, quarter-size hail reported between Coleman and Holly Pond. Of course, all the warnings continue to get updated as the storms move from one area to another. So let me kind of run down all the warnings here for you as well. Again, we have our severe thunderstorm warning for Lauderdale, Limestone County. That one goes until 7:30 right now. We have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Madison County. This is the one tracking towards Hazel Green and perhaps New Market. That one goes until 7:45. Have our warning here for Lawrence County. This one is pretty well out of Franklin County, at least the core of the storm. That one goes until 8:15, but we're kind of losing the hail on that one, I believe. And that could be because this is kind of moving over the same areas that had storms a little bit earlier. And then our last warning is the one that's in effect here for Morgan and Coleman County. That one goes until 8 o'clock. So we still have 4 active warnings right now. And again, it is primarily a hail threat. Hail cores on a lot of these are decreasing. The one here, though, in the northwestern corner of Limestone County, near Leicester, that one still could be potentially producing some quarter-size hail. This one is tracking a little north of east, so again, kind of brushing by you in Leicester. It'll get close to Minor Hill and Stella there in southern Middle Tennessee and through southern Giles County. Can still have a hail core, not as substantial, showing up here in Madison County near Mount Lebanon. It'll be tracking through parts of the southern edge of Hazel Green and maybe surviving to make it to New Market. I would say likely under quarter size at this point with that one. Same story here in Morgan County. See the 2 hail cores. We've got one southeast of Hartselle, northeast of Falkville, probably just some small pea-sized hail with that one. And then south of the Danville community there into southwest Morgan County. Again, probably not quarter-sized anymore with that. And moving through southwest Lawrence County, southwest of Moulton. Again, another hail core showing up here, but probably below quarter size at this point in time. So again, that's what we've got going on right now. I do appreciate those of you that have shared pictures, and this always helps. And if you bear with me, I may be able to maybe pull up some of these. So I know we've gotten a few pictures of the hail. I'd like to share some of that with you. Can always get those to us. Probably the most easy way is using the WAAY 31 Stormtracker Weather app. If you scroll down on the main page there for the weather app, there's a section where you can upload your photos. This is just kind of a good reminder for how you can help us heading into our spring storm season. So that really gives us an idea and helps to verify what we're seeing on radar. Let me see here. Okay, bear with me, I'm going to try something. Let's see if this works. No, let me, there we go. Okay. So this, let me see where this is from. So that's, this is some hail pictures that we've gotten in. You can see the reference there, a nickel and a quarter. Looks like that it was from Tyler. And this was from the Frankfurt Belgreen community in Franklin County. So thank you, Tyler, for sharing that. Let's see what else I can find. This would have been from, not sure the location. I could look up the lat lawn, but I'm not going to do that. But again, this is kind of what we were seeing a little bit earlier as well. So not only the large hail reports, like what Tyler shared with us, but some of this small pea-sized hail that really piled up, almost accumulated like snow. We did have some reports of that, again, across northwest Alabama. This was Russellville. Again, kind of looks like it snowed. And if you're going to get hail, that's what you want. You don't want the big stuff. You want the small hail. That was from Kimberly. There's another view. Again, this is around the Russellville area a little bit earlier. So again, when you can share those weather photos with us, it really helps us tell the weather story. So appreciate those of you that have shared those photos with us. As again, it does give us confirmation as to what has gone down with the weather. But I do want to encourage you, only take those photos if you can do it safely. So heading into storm season, yes, we'd love to see your photos of damage or maybe a developing tornado, that sort of stuff, but I certainly don't want you to put your safety at risk. A couple other reports here from the Weather Service. This is a little west of Meridianville. Some dime-sized hail, just under dime-sized hail, 3/4 inch hail. In Coleman County, a report of some dime-sized hail. And again, a few more reports of some quarter hail, Coleman County, Fairview, Holly Pond community. Strongest storm that we've got right now looks like it is, again, this one right on the Alabama-Tennessee border in between Lester and Minor Hill. So I think if we still have a shot at some quarter-size hail out of one of these, this is it. You do see the severe thunderstorm warning that was added by the Weather Service out of Nashville. They cover this part of, you can see even a little bit of Lawrence County included, but primarily Giles County, southern middle Tennessee, now severe thunderstorm warning due to the hail threat out of this storm. Another check here, that hail. Does look like it's maybe come down a little bit. There it was right there, northeast of Anderson, about 7:30. It's about 10 minutes ago or so. Decent size, probably quarter or larger. And then you can see we're seeing that hail size perhaps go down. And that's the trend that you want to see. Still a hail signature showing up here along 231, Hazel Green, just to the south. It's going to be right along Glenwood Road primarily, 231, 431. And again, the possibility, just take a quick look here what the estimate is. So if you look at the actual estimated size, this is dime sized. So possibility for that. That's below severe limits, but still substantial. So maybe some dime to marble sized hail here south of Hazel Green. Expand the view here. So we've got a hail core there. What we got here in Morgan County and into northern Coleman County, not real significant. East of Falkville, that's very small hail, 1/2 inch. That's your pea-size hail or even smaller than that. And again, here close to West Point, maybe just a little bit larger. But again, these hail signatures, they are much less significant than they were just an hour or two ago. Same story back in here in Lawrence County. Again, this is all over the Bankhead National Forest, but estimated size here, a little bit more than 1/2 inch. Again, 1 inch hail is what's considered severe. That's your quarter-size hail. So I'm liking the trend that the hail sizes are coming down. and that the storms are weakening. And again, that kind of fits with the loss of daytime heating, that we would see a gradual drawdown in the strength of the storms. Let's see here. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning just came out for the storm here in northern Madison County. So they are extending that one. Again, this is tracking towards the New Market area and now includes parts of Jackson County, near and north of Princeton, and also a little bit of Lincoln County, Tennessee, southeast of Fayetteville. Also includes a small part of Franklin County, Tennessee. They're back near and just a little south of Huntland, Tennessee. So that's a new severe thunderstorm warning for that particular cell coming on through. And kind of reset the view here. There are still some storms back here in Mississippi, so we'll keep an eye on these. But again, as these track to the south and east, they're likely going to lose their punch with time this evening. But you see a strong storm there near Tupelo. Looks like a severe thunderstorm warning back towards Holly Springs. It's kind of on the edge of the radar that I'm looking at right now. But those are back in that direction as well. And we just got some rain moving through Decatur and the Huntsville area primarily. Take another look here, just checking the comments. When we're doing this on social media, it's a little more casual. Obviously, we want to get out the information, but it's not quite as, it's not like we're in tornado coverage. So we can be a little bit more casual and answer questions here that folks have. So I'm just checking those out real quick. And again, if you have photos to share, again, that really helps. And I do mean that. And again, we make it easy right through the WAAY 31 Stormtracker Weather app. Linda commenting that she got pictures from the Lexington area there in Lauderdale County. Got hail pretty bad. Samantha wanting to know will there be more storms after these tonight? No. This will be it, storm-wise. So again, I'd kind of expect, we'll say maybe up to 8:30. And then I really think after that, things are gonna be a little less substantial. So we're kind of at the downward end of this. Again, a little bit more active than we thought it was going to be. You know, I'll be honest. I'll be transparent with you about that. But we are kind of winding things down. Again, the loss of daytime heating is going to allow most of these to go away. And again, we're already starting to see, at least in most cases, the hail size beginning to diminish out of these storms as they're coming on through. But let me, since we did have a question about when we're going to have more storms overnight tonight, let me again run you through the latest forecast. Pull that back up for you full screen. Again, it's going to be a little off on the details, but showing the general idea, the storms and the heavier storms moving through parts of North Alabama. Maybe forward through 9 o'clock, storms losing their intensity. There's probably still going to be some rain to be had at that point in time. Take you up to 11 o'clock tonight. Still may be a little wet, but I don't expect we're going to have any additional severe weather potential at this point in time. And we will continue to wind down rain overnight tonight. For a lot of us, by 2 o'clock in the morning, should be drying out, and certainly by the time you wake up Friday morning, over and done with. Starting with some cloud cover early in the morning tomorrow, and then we clear out. Should wrap up the day with some sunshine. So things are going to be looking pretty good. Just in time for the weekend. So hey, if we got to deal with some storms, at least we're getting them out of here, and your Saturday, Sunday is looking nice. Again, these are the warnings that we've got ongoing right now. For North Alabama, it looks like 2 severe thunderstorm warning boxes. One that covers northeast Madison County into northwest Jackson County. That's moving into the New Market area. We also continue with a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Morgan and Coleman County. But again, these storms diminishing just a little bit, particularly the southern ones. And then here in southern Middle Tennessee, that's still fairly stout hail core showing up in southern Giles County. But again, this is moving a little north of east, so this is generally moving out of Alabama and sitting here primarily southern Middle Tennessee. There's the hail core on it. This is going to be a little off on the placement, so this is after all the radar data is analyzed, so it's not the current location, but where it was just a short time ago. They're near Minor Hill and the Lester community. And again, right now, the location where we're seeing the higher, what we call reflectivity, this is where if we're going to have some quarter-size hail, where it's located a little bit off to the east of Minor Hill. Track that here in Giles County. And this may not maintain itself for a whole lot longer, but here's where it is going. Aspen Hill around 757. Center Point School around 808. Bunker Hill around 812. So it's going to stay south of you folks in Pulaski, the way that it looks, and the way that it is currently tracking. But again, if we have severe hail, which is going to be 1-inch hail, quarter size, I think it's most likely going to be with this particular cell there in southern Giles County. Hail core here is maybe picked back up a little bit in Madison County. You can see it between Hazel Green and New Market. And again, this is tracking its way off to the north and east. Let's kind of show you where this is going. Again, through the New Market area, northeastern Madison County. Again, moving into New Market here in the next couple of minutes. Plevna around 759 and into the Francisco community there on the Tennessee side. There in southern Franklin County, Tennessee, around 817. And again, this one's still potentially up to quarter size. Probably not going to be anything larger than that. Again, those are both severe thunderstorm warnings. And then we've got the last one down here, Morgan, Coleman County. Let me take a look at the hail cores here. These have really gone down a lot. That's your lowest contour for hail. So we're losing the hail signature here. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8. I think that one will be allowed to expire. So that will leave just the 2 warnings in the north. In fact, yeah, we just, Weather Service, we're going to let the severe thunderstorm warning expire for Morgan and Coleman County. We don't think it will need a severe thunderstorm warning again. So again, that just now leaves us with the wider view. Ones with the biggest hail cores are up here and now the northern part of North Alabama and also into southern Middle Tennessee. The storm west of Ardmore, the hail core is probably going to pass just a little north of Ardmore across on I-65. And again, our hail core in Madison County has now cleared much of Hazel Green, but is moving through the New Market area and continuing to head its way off to the north and to the east. And again, I expect these storms will see a gradual decrease in intensity in these as they continue to work their way northeast here in the next 30 minutes, we'll say an hour. Really think by 9 o'clock we're not going to be having any warnings anymore here out of any of this activity. And again, the warnings that you see back here in northern Mississippi, it'll be the same thing. These storms are going to diminish in intensity before they would reach North Alabama. That is the general expectation. So with that, let me do just one last check here. The comments. I've answered most of the questions. Check on the WAAY page. See what we've got here. Jenny, watching from Eider, do you anticipate any storms in northern DeKalb County? Jenny, I would say at this point, no. There's nothing that is immediately moving into northern DeKalb County. And we're kind of past the point where we're going to see new development. So kind of what we've got out there right now, I think, is pretty much what we're going to have. And it's going to continue to diminish in intensity. Still, we'll be tracking some rain for a while longer, but I think it's unlikely that we'll have new storm formation outside of what is currently ongoing. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, here's another look at 31 triple Doppler. The warning for Morgan-Coleman County, that one's going to expire here in the next few minutes. It's not going to be reissued. We do continue, though, with the warning there in southern Giles County. We'll see if that's extended to the Lincoln County, Tennessee, but again, kind of what we've been seeing here is that those hail cores are diminishing. One here in Madison County, it's kind of pulsing back down. There, just when it passed Hazel Green, had a little bit of a flare-up in the hail size, and then as it's moved into Newmarket, we are seeing a steady decrease in the hail potential, or at least the hail size out of this. Still could be some small pea-sized hail. And again, even our storm here in the hail core that was most significant when it was right on the Limestone, Lauderdale County line, Lawrence, Giles County line. Although it's still perhaps some quarter-size hail here west of Elkton, east of Minor Hill, we're also seeing that this storm is starting to diminish slowly, and that trend is likely going to continue. So again, with that, I'm going to wrap things up. If you do want to keep up with the storms as we continue to see them wind down this evening, you can do that on the WAAY 31 Stormtracker Weather app. I'll, of course, have a full update on your forecast coming up on WAAY 31 News tonight at 10 o'clock. Hope you all made it through okay. Again, these were just hailstorms that we've been dealing with, but in some cases that hail was quarter-sized or larger in some instances. But again, we're kind of on the downward trend now, and I expect we'll continue to see the storms and the rain, for that matter, wind down through the rest of this evening and on into tonight. Again, look for updates on the WAAY 31 Stormtracker Weather app, and I will see you tonight at 10 o'clock. Hope you have a great rest of your